Most people work hard for their money. Your income arrives every month. Your salary lands in your bank account. And almost immediately, the bills and expenses begin to take their share. Rent, groceries, utilities, transportation, maybe some debt payments. You try to put something into savings. You try to be responsible. But even when you do all of that, money can still feel tight. You look at your bank account and wonder how the balance dropped so quickly. And sometimes the reason isn't a big purchase. Sometimes it's something much smaller. Think about it. Most people worry about big financial decisions. Buying a car, moving to a new apartment, taking on a loan. These things feel serious. You plan them, you think about them, you prepare for them. But small purchases feel different. A coffee, a snack, a quick online order, a ride instead of walking, a small subscription. These things feel harmless. They feel too small to matter. You've probably felt this. You buy something small and tell yourself it's not a big deal. It's just a few dollars. It won't affect anything. Life is busy. You deserve something convenient or enjoyable. And you're not wrong. But here's the problem. Small purchases don't happen once. They happen every day. This happens to a lot of people. Imagine buying a $5 coffee on the way to work. It doesn't feel like much. $5 is a small number. You probably won't even remember the purchase later. But if that happens 5 days a week, that's $25. In 1 month, that's around $100. In 1 year, that's more than $1,200. And suddenly, that small purchase isn't so small anymore. But here's the interesting part. The money didn't disappear in one big moment. It disappeared slowly, quietly, almost invisibly. That's why small spending is so powerful. It hides inside normal life. Think about it. When you pay a big bill, you notice it. You feel the impact. You remember the number leaving your account. But when small purchases happen, they blend into your day. A drink here, a snack there, a quick order online, a small delivery fee, a streaming subscription you forgot about. Each one feels tiny, but together they create a constant flow of money leaving your account. You've probably felt this. You check your bank account and wonder where the money went. You don't remember making any big purchases. Nothing dramatic happened, but the balance is lower than expected. This happens to a lot of people. One reason small purchases are so powerful is psychological. Our brains treat small numbers differently than large ones. When something costs $5, it doesn't trigger the same caution as something that costs $500. $500 feels serious. $5 feels harmless. So we spend $5 many times without thinking. But repetition turns small spending into big spending. Another reason small purchases cost so much is convenience. Modern life makes spending extremely easy. You don't even have to think about it. A few taps on your phone and the purchase is done. No cash leaves your hand, no pause to count bills, just a quick confirmation. That convenience removes friction, and when friction disappears, spending increases. Think about it. If you had to take out cash every time you bought something small, you might hesitate more. But with digital payments, the process is smooth, almost invisible, so spending becomes automatic. This happens to a lot of people. Daily routines also play a role. Many small purchases are connected to habits: morning coffee, lunch delivery, evening snacks, quick online shopping while relaxing at home. These habits feel normal. They become part of your routine, and routines are powerful. When something becomes routine, you stop questioning it. You just do it. You've probably felt this. You buy something almost automatically. You don't think about the total impact over time. You just think about the moment. But here's the problem. Financial stability depends on patterns, not moments. A single $5 purchase won't change your life, but hundreds of them will. Another reason small spending becomes expensive is emotional comfort. Sometimes people buy small things to feel better. After a stressful day, a small purchase can feel like a reward. A drink, a treat, something convenient. It feels harmless because the cost is small. But emotional spending can become frequent, and frequent spending becomes expensive. This happens to a lot of people. There's also something called mental accounting. People often separate small purchases from their main budget. They treat them as exceptions. You might carefully plan your rent and bills. You might think about big expenses, but the small things fall outside the plan. They live in a mental category called "it's not that much." But when many purchases live in that category, the total grows quickly. Think about it. If you spend $10 a day on small things, that's about $300 a month. $300 could build savings. It could reduce debt. It could create breathing room in your budget. But when that money leaves in small pieces, it doesn't feel like $300. It feels like $10. You've probably felt this. Another reason small purchases cost so much is that they rarely feel urgent. When money is tight, people usually focus on big financial decisions. They cancel large subscriptions. They delay major purchases. But small habits remain. They feel too minor to worry about. But over time, those small habits quietly shape your financial life. This happens to a lot of people. Think about checking your bank account at the end of the month. You might see dozens of small transactions. None of them look serious on their own, but together they represent a large portion of your spending. And that's when the realization happens. The money didn't disappear because of one mistake. It disappeared because of many small ones. But here's something important to understand. Small purchases are not evil. Enjoying life matters. Convenience matters. Small treats are part of normal living. The problem isn't the existence of small purchases. The problem is unconscious spending. When small spending becomes automatic, it stops feeling like a decision. And when decisions disappear, control disappears with them. Think about it. If you choose a small purchase intentionally, it's part of your life. But if it happens automatically, it becomes a hidden cost. Awareness changes everything. When people start noticing their small spending patterns, they often feel surprised, not because they were irresponsible, but because the pattern was invisible. Small spending hides inside everyday life, but once you see it, you can decide what matters. This happens to a lot of people. Some people reduce small purchases and suddenly their savings grow faster. Others simply become more intentional. They still buy small things, but they choose the ones that matter most. And that small shift creates a big difference. Because money is not just about big decisions, it's about daily patterns. The truth is, most people are not bad with money. They pay their bills, they manage their responsibilities, they try to save when they can. But they live in a world where spending is easy, fast, and constant. And in that world, small purchases quietly shape your financial future, not because they're huge, but because they happen again and again and again. And sometimes the biggest changes in your finances don't come from cutting something dramatic. They come from simply noticing the small things that were always there.